So how you been, man?
I've been good. Been busy with work. Lots of video editing. Tons of YouTube stuff lately.
Your YouTube's absolutely been blowing up. It's like what, 1,000 followers, 1,000 subs a day.
It just hit 10,000 within the last hour.
Congratulations.
And one of the guys on my Discord just joined and sent me a whisper. He said he was waiting for an hour. He was on like the live view watching it tick up, and as soon as it hit 9.99, he tabbed out, hit subscribe, and tabbed back in, and he video captured the whole thing. Like, nobody gets that. That's so awesome. I'm so excited.
Absolute fanboy there. I remember when my YouTube, it was like, this would have been back in like 0.6 days, and I had...
Is that like February?
It would have been April 18th was the wipe. And when the April 18th wipe came, and there's the very first gunsmith, gunsmith tasks, and I was the first one to put a video up, I think, for part 1 and 2, and they were like, it was the very first time my YouTube started taking off, and I was like, holy shit, I got 300 subs, and I'm like, I only had 400.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I spent before I started streaming, I think it was last year sometime, I was playing a bunch of PubG, and it was a different game a year ago than it is now. I actually recently tried to get back into it, and I'm trash at it. There's a lot more recoil, and the new maps I don't know. But I was doing like really well. Like there was a 2-month period of time where I was top 10 in North America. It was like me, Choco Taco, Visions, Vis, on the solo North America leaderboards. So I was like, shit, like, wow, I'm doing pretty good. You know, my KD was really good. I was winning tons of games, so I was putting out highlight videos. And I killed Visions, I killed the Doc, I killed Summit. And this is before, like I said, I was streaming. So I had all these. I thought that like me killing Summit was going to be like the ultimate clickbait. Like this is going to go viral, and I think it's at 7 views.
Is it still up there?
It's been a year. Oh yeah, and all of those videos they averaged somewhere between 5 and 15 views, and it was like the amount of time it takes to make a 10-minute PUBG highlight video is like days of playing the game.
Yep.
So it was so disheartening. So I'm like, I literally quit for a while, and my buddies convinced me to stream.
My first
downhill
YouTube video, I decided at the end of, it would have been the end of January. I'm like, you know what? I've been streaming for 4 months, got a couple 100 followers. I'm like, I'm gonna take this serious now. No more like I'll just stream here and there, and you know, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. I'm gonna do like proper guides and everything. So it was like the last day of February. I'm like, all right, I need to learn how to make a YouTube video. All right, and I went on to YouTube and I searched Adobe making videos. Found this like guide that was like massive. It was like a 50 episode guide, and for the next 3 days, they were like 15 minutes each. For the next 3 days, that's all I did after my stream. I'd stream, watch these guides, and then 3 days later, I'm like, okay, now I know how to make a video. So then I spent like, I reckon it would have been like 15 to 24 hours on my very first video. And right now I can make like an audio for a guide, and I might just crop out like some gaps or some ums and some ahs. That video had like 400 stop starts of me saying the same thing over and over again. I just was not confident. And I think I got no idea how many views. I haven't checked it in ages, but I'm pretty sure it only ever got to like 100 views. And it was like, it was so much in my life.
It's so disheartening. I mean, it's like one of those things that everybody. I get the impression, because I haven't been doing this long enough, and I don't really know personally any other people who YouTube. But it just seems like something you have to go through, where you're gonna spend the first 100 hours just putting shit out that nobody's ever gonna watch. It's just there to get your flow down and to learn the processes and. Yeah,
unless you find that one niche where someone's just like, holy shit, no one's done a video on that. I needed that information. And it starts to flow. A perfect example is Anton with his guides on the armor testing. And they just took off. Like Anton's like, YouTube's awesome. And it just blew up. Like it was cool.
Yeah, that's part of the inspiration for, because I was doing Tarkov. I started making Tarkov highlight videos in January 18th actually, was my first day playing Tarkov, and uploaded a highlight video from my first day or 2 days, and it was like, it's still up, and it's the cringiest. I actually literally this morning recorded a video of me over the top of that video explaining like all of the things I didn't understand and why I screwed up here, and so I like do an analysis of that. But yeah, it's been 9 months of more like 7 or 8 months of almost nothing until that Comtax video that I put out. That's what like hockey sticked the growth. I had a couple of those music videos that Battle State had shared on Twitter, and that for sure helped. But it wasn't. It became sort of like a snowball effect once the science videos started to come out, and part of that was Anton. I saw his video, and I remember thinking like, this is super cool. And I've always loved science. I'm a computer scientist. I've always loved science, but never been able to really do science experiments. You know what I mean? And it's like, shit, this is kind of like a way of, Tarkov is like a medium for me to say, like, I have a hypothesis. Let's test it. Let's control the data. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And yeah, so now it's like a crack. I can't stop.
So your true nerd came out, in other words.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. Did you what did you play before Tarkov? Obviously you played PubG, but before that, did you?
So I was a console player forever until a few years back. My buddy in college, who was my first mod on Twitch, he convinced me, because he was a CS:GO player. Yep. Him and all of his buddies. CS:GO's huge in Brazil, and him and all of his buddies are all Brazilian. They convinced me to get into CS:GO because I used to play COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and I used to do those online betting sites where you do like the one-on-one versus people, and you'd put up like $5. So I used to do all that, and I made pretty decent money actually in like high school and in college. But yeah, he convinced me to get a gaming PC. God, I don't even know how many years now. Time flies now that I'm getting old. But yeah, so it started with CS:GO, PubG, Civilization 5, Civ 5, and Hearthstone are probably the 4 games, and Skyrim. I modded the hell out of Skyrim. Those are the 5 games I really spent most of my time on PC up until January, and then everything stopped for Tarkov.
Yeah. I was big on Hearthstone. You know what the thing I hated the most about Hearthstone? They grind from rank like 5 to legend. It's like
I did it once, and I'll never do it again.
I hit rank 1 so many times. Effectively, it's like, because you got to win 25 more games than you do lose, because there's no like bonus or anything. So, and I don't know why, but every time I got to rank 1, it didn't matter how close I got. No. And I knew all the decks and knew everything. I was like, all the strategies, just that game. I love it so much. Have you played the new Magic the Gathering? Did you play that as a kid?
No, I haven't. But so I never played Magic as a kid. But at my last job, last software engineering job, a bunch of the engineers there were all Magic nerds, and I played Hearthstone a bunch, and that's what got me into Twitch. Actually, was Hearthstone. So they all, like, during their lunch breaks, they would do drafts, or after work they'd do drafts. They'd get a big sealed deck. But yeah, they finally roped me into doing it. And then, of course, the next year of my life was me spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Magic cards. I just found my case. I was cleaning out when I cleaned out my office and moved everything around, I found my case, and it's like, oh God, I've got binders and placemats, and oh Jesus.
One of my mates I was in the army with, I reckon it would have been, so at some point when in my army career, I was just like, I'm gonna play Magic again. I went out, I literally just bought a box of boosters. I just went into the shop, like, because you know when you're a kid, it's like, you buy one booster pack, you're like, yes, booster pack. And then
you get like $7 or $11, and it's the greatest, and now you're like, I got $200, like, let me just get everything.
I went into the shop, and I haven't played Magic in a while. It's like, oh, cool. So you just want to get like an expansion deck, like a deck that's already made? I'm like, no, I'll just buy a whole booster box. And he's like, oh, which ones? I'm like, what's the most recent ones? I'll just grab those. and then I didn't touch it. I opened them up. I'm like, oh, this one's cool. This one's cool. And I looked through the whole box. And then it was about 2 years later, my mate in the army was like, oh, I've been playing Magic the Gathering with my mates. You should like check it out. It's a really cool card game. I'm like, oh, really? Do you? And I brought over this box. I'm like, here.
Take this. It's probably still wrapped in plastic. Like,
I'm like, I don't know how much all this shit's worth. It's yours.
It's either worth nothing, like not even the cardboard it's printed on, or you have some cards that are worth hundreds. You never know.
We've got this thing called Gumtree in Australia. It's effectively like an online class, Craigslist, I'd imagine. It'd be the exact same as Craigslist.
Okay.
And I put it up on Gumtree, and I put it up for like $150 because I worked out like the set was like, booster box in Australia was like $230 or some shit. So I was just like, $150. It's like someone just buying a box anyway, but a little bit cheaper. And they're always going to try to undercut you. And I had like one person, he's like, I'll take him for $50. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I was just
still have them?
No, I gave it to him. I gave it to my mate, so.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
No, but the new Magic the Gathering, it's sort of arena. I played it on stream yesterday, I think it was, and it was fun. The only thing I didn't like about it was like, it's so in your face, like, buy these decks, and buy this draft, and buy this. It's like,
really?
That I felt.
Is it free to play?
It is free to play, and you can grind cards every day. Like, you get bonuses every day, and you could do it that way.
So it must be like similar to Hearthstone.
It's if you change the skins, it would be Hearthstone. Like,
really?
It really felt like that. Except for obviously there's different rules, but like if you could change all the skins across to Hearthstone and then just change the rules up, you're done. You got the same game.
I wanted that for so long, man, because the user experience in Hearthstone was like just phenomenal. The details, the little thing, like you felt like you had a card in your hand, and from like a game design user experience perspective, I was amazed with what Blizzard did with Hearthstone. And I always wanted that because when I played Magic the Gathering online, because at some point my friend stopped playing, and now it's like, well, shit, I don't want to go and just hang out with people at like random shops on Fridays. Like, God, that's not really my crowd. I ended up playing online, and it was terrible, dude.
Yeah.
You have like 10 seconds to like click on a drop-down menu while this little timer's ticking, and oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I'll have to check that out.
It definitely is a lot more user-friendly experience. The only downside is I feel like unless you've got good knowledge on how to make a deck, it'd be very hard to just make a good deck of your own. Hearthstone's kind of similar, but you'd also need to get the cards, and I don't know how long it takes to grind them out. I think it'd be quite a while, but yeah, you effectively. I feel like the game's the kind of game where you probably would benefit a lot more by buying a shitload of booster packs.
And throwing out 95% of them.
Well, did you ever play the Pokemon card game online?
I never played the Pokemon card game online. The Pokemon cards I bought a shit ton when I was little.
Okay, so
I never played the game. To me, it was collectible.
Yeah. Well, the game itself, right? The game online is you can buy a booster pack in real life, put that code into the game, and you get
like Amiibo,
and you get them in the game as well. The exact same cards.
That's pretty cool.
So Magic the Gathering online Arena is charging like pretty much the same as a normal pack. Well, you could actually go get people to go buy and do the exact same thing. I think that'd be a lot cooler. I think Pokemon did a really good idea with that, but it's made by Hearthstone anyway, so I'm fairly confident. Pokemon and Hearthstone.
Oh wait, what is?
Who makes? Actually, no. Pokemon Go is Magic the Gathering. Is it more? So not Pokemon Go. Sorry, Pokemon trading card game.
Do you think it's made by Blizzard?
Is it made by Wizards of the Coast?
Or by Wizards of the Coast?
I'm not sure.
Interesting, because Wizards of the Coast, any game I've ever played, well, was MTGO, was that Wizards?
Magic is Wizards of the Coast. I can't remember. One of them's made by. I don't know. I might be wrong, but yeah. It's just, I feel like you could just learn from other games, other people's experiences, you know? Sorry, got my tea that I haven't drank yet.
I've been lately. I get up in the morning, and if it's a Saturday, I'll go down to the McDonald's and I'll buy 4 iced coffees and put 3 of them in the refrigerator, so I have coffee for the whole day.
Do you have Uber?
It's pretty bad.
Where you are?
Uber?
Yeah. Like Uber Eats?
Yeah. So there's no Uber Eats in my area, because otherwise I would pay $10 to have coffee delivered to me. I'd be fine paying $10 for a coffee. I don't care. I hate leaving the house, but yeah, I live like 45 minutes or an hour from Boston, so it's just far enough away from like the main city that you can't really get any of those services out here. Uber will come, but you might have to wait like 20 minutes. It's not like if you're in the city, you get an Uber in like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I live at the moment an hour and a half out of Adelaide. So imagine a small little coastal town with 3,000 people. That's where I live. So it's like 6 pubs and a pizza shop. That's pretty much my whole town. So
oh my god,
you can't get
everybody knows everybody's name.
Oh yeah. When I moved out,
do they all know you that like you stream and stuff?
No, so because I only moved out here about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And to get in with everyone, it's Australian rules football, but you just join the footy team. But I didn't want to play footy, so I joined the fire brigade instead. And that way.
And by that you mean soccer, right?
No, Australian rules football.
Oh, is it like it's rugby?
Nah, it's its own.
Or is it actually football?
Yeah, it's like American football without protection, and you can get hit from every side. And
sounds like
it's really
rugby.
It's really rough. No, because rugby you only get hit from the front. Aussie rules you get hit from everywhere. So yeah, it's rough.
Sounds like a terrible time. Sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, a lot of people get really hurt, broken bones all the time, and bad injuries. So it's definitely.
I played football in middle school, and the person that ended my football career, it wasn't going to go very far, trust me, but the person that ended was Kendall Reyes, and he, up until recently, was like a linebacker for the San Diego Chargers. Like 6'6", like 320, just the biggest. He's the one, and he was like the same size in 8th grade or 9th grade that I was. He fucking destroyed me, dude. I literally was on a punt return, full speed running at him. I did a little juke move, and I woke up in an ambulance. It's just, that was the last time I played any sport.
You should call him up.
Freshman year of high school.
Be like, hey, do you remember cleaning me up in football back in like 08? He goes, we should do a Fortnite.
Like, send me an autograph?
She'd be like, let's do a Fortnite stream.
Oh my god, there you go.
Playing Fortnite with him.
Oh my god, I hate Fortnite, dude. It's a great game. I'm just trash at it. I'm terrible.
Slush and I are going to PAX in a week. And at PAX, we've both been invited to Fortnite. So we're doing it.
Oh no, you guys probably... Are you any good?
I win a fair bit when I play it, but I haven't played it in like 4 to 6 months. But yeah, Slush and I have entered as a duo team. So
oh my god.
I'm thinking like we should like do something really trolly, like I don't know, make a giant penis out of all the buildings. Like just go to a random place on the map and just do like something stupid.
Just don't even compete. Just be like, we're not gonna win. Let's just troll.
Yeah, like just absolutely have fun with it.
Oh my god, do it.
So it's gonna be it'll be all live streamed and stuff like that. So never invited to play Fortnite again.
You'll be like was it iBuyPower, banned from all future Steam events or whatever?
Yeah. Nah, never invited to do a competition event again. Nah. Oh I told Slush we should do a little bit cheeky Fortnite stream on Sunday night just to tone the skills, practice. You know. Be cool to...
I think I've maybe gotten maybe 5 or 6 kills in Fortnite total ever.
No, I've gotten it.
That's it, yeah. Every inch of my like game sense, whatever you want to call it, it tells me to do the thing that you don't do Normally it's, oh, I'm getting shot at, let me like run to the tree or whatever. And run to cover is you die every time. And as soon as I'm like, all right, cool, I'll return fire out in the open on this guy, it's like, there's a Walmart. And it's like, okay, well now what am I going to do? I can't do anything. Now I'm out in the open. He can just build. And I'm like trying to figure out the keys. I actually never learned how to open up like the inventory. I never learned what key it was to where you could assign which gun was on which, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Never figured that out.
Wow.
I tried every key on the keyboard as far as I knew, and yeah, I could never play that game.
Well, 9-year-old kids can play that game, so it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Pestyly's YouTube tutorial on how to build in Fortnite, then I'll figure it out.
How to compete in Fortnite.
Yeah. First, you start out with a giant cock.
Made out of wood. Has to be made out of wood.
Yeah. It's got to be wood. You got to get the right mats.
Yep. And then you got to have like square stone stuff coming out the end.
Oh God.
We're going to hell. Yeah. Are you going to TwitchCon?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Excited for it?
I'm super excited. It's getting too close. My like kind of unofficial goal was to try to get partner before then, just because you get a special line. It's like open bar, all this cool shit that like I really wanted. I don't think I'm gonna get it. And there's what, like 7 days or something. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll get lucky.
I don't know.
But
yeah,
I don't know. It's been a bit. I think actually me and Tweak went through the same kind of process where we applied. So Tweak had applied after, and he just recently got it, in case you didn't know, yesterday, I think. He had applied and then didn't like get a response. And then there was something like he thought he got denied. And then when he reached out to them, they're like, we never even got your application. He applied after he had met the criteria. I applied slightly before that, just to be like, what's the worst that can happen, right? Like they reject me and I just keep doing my thing. I keep trying. And then I never got an email. I never got a confirmation that I submitted it. Never got any response back. But if you go to like twitch.tv/partner/signup, it's like your application is in review. One day it said, like, result has been emailed to you. Could not find it in my email. I ended up not calling because there's no phone number, unfortunately. But I ended up like tweeting out or something. And they were like, oh yeah, we never got it. So I'm like, I just waited all this time. You never got it. So then they're like, you have to submit it again. So I had to wait until the cooldown period was after the submission, even though they never got the submission, for me to then submit. And at that point, I was a decent bit over the requirements. But I'm pretty sure me and Tweak applied at the same time. So who knows? Maybe.
Well, fingers crossed. Well, you definitely put the work in.
We'll see. I just want open bar.
You can go to any bar and it's open. Oh, you want the Twitch one.
I want to know open bar meaning like I don't want to pay for the drinks.
I know. Yeah, but how much is it going to cost you to fly there?
I don't know. I paid for that like 3 months ago.
Oh, really? Are you catching up with many people?
Yeah. I keep learning that there's more and more people that I know. I know Tweak's going. I know Esper's going. Spinachy's going. So I'm super excited to meet the three of them. There's more people that I have since forgotten. I keep mixing up who's going, who said they were going, and that isn't anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see. I definitely anticipate I'm going to be. My wife can't come. She's got wedding stuff to do with my cousin and my and his fiance. Bridal shower stuff that luckily I can get out of if she can't.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna be there alone, and it's gonna be like high school where you like show up to the party and you're like, anybody here I know, just kind of walking around.
Well, PAX Oz is the exact same weekend as TwitchCon, so I'm gonna go to that because it's in Australia. Why fly over to America when I could just go to something in Australia? I'm excited for that. I'm gonna catch up with Slush and then just chill with him and see who wants to say hello to me. I don't really care, to be honest. If I have everyone or no one, so this is gonna be cool to hang out with Slush. And I kind of see it as, I don't know what you call it, but in America it's like you got the Emmys and shit like that, like your reward ceremony, like your rewards for the year. I'm treating it as my like Christmas break. So I'm like, I got the a room at the casino for like 4 nights. I'm like, which is like across the road from it. You know, I'm going out for a couple of nice dinners. I'm just gonna like party up and just enjoy it because we all know it's a lot of hard work and it's good to celebrate sometimes. So
yeah, that's awesome. I got an Airbnb like a quarter block down the road from Apple headquarters in Cupertino.
Yep.
And I'm an iPhone developer. It's primarily what I do.
Dead to me.
So, and Apple's reached out to me a bunch over the last few years saying, hey, you ever thought about moving to California? And there's no fucking way I'm going to move to California. Cost of living is like 4 times more, but the pay would be like 60% more. It just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to be like, hey, I'm considering it. I'm going to be out in Cupertino. Maybe give me like a potential employee tour. Like, I just want the inside tour. And I'll be like, yeah, not interested. Sorry. So I'll see if I can get into something.
Well, now
the first day I get there before back.
Everyone on the internet's going to know that now, so reach out.
That's all right. As long as
hey, they might
the guys at Apple don't see this in the next 6 days, I'm okay.
You never know. They might actually change your mind. Like, hey, this would be pretty cool. Nah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. What got you into all the music stuff? Always been a part of a band or anything?
My dad was a musician forever. This red guitar right here was actually his guitar he bought in like 1970. He's always been a musician, and he's also a software engineer too. And I always just wanted to be like my dad. He was always in bands my whole life growing up. At like weekend cookouts, his band would be playing. They would always play like 60s, 70s, 80s covers stuff like Steely Dan, Chicago, all that stuff. So he sang and he played the bass. And I decided, he took me to Blue Man Group. You ever seen Blue Man Group? Heard of Blue Man Group? Do they have that out there?
No.
Oh my God, you're missing out. It's literally these 3 dudes that have like, their whole body is covered in essentially like paint, latex. They're bald. They don't talk at all. They're just like mimes with like black jumpsuits, and they play the drums. But you've probably seen they like put the paint on the drums, and it's like neon paint. And there's lights flashing, and they're playing the drums, and like the paint is like splashing up. You ever seen that?
No, I'll have to Google it.
Oh, it's so awesome. They play unbelievably cool music, comedy plus music. Anyway, so I saw them play when I was, I think, 8 or 9 years old, and I told my dad, I'm like, I want to play the drums. So he's like, all right. On the way home from Boston, Blue Man Group, we stopped at Home Depot, and he got me those like plastic cement tubes, like the buckets, and he built me. And my dad's super handy. Like, he has a wood shop, full 1,000 square foot wood shop, everything. So he built me a drum set with PVC pipe. Like, the lid to the cement bucket was like the cymbals, and I just sit in the basement and bang on the drums. Until then he signed me up for drum lessons, and I got really good really fast by like 11 years old.
It's probably because you're real passionate about it too. I've always found that, hey.
Yeah.
If you're really interested in something, you actually go so much better. Like,
yep.
If you're spending too much time like just like, oh, do I want to do this? I can't be bothered going. No.
No, yeah. As soon as I get interested in something, I go 1,000%. It's like, all right, cool. I'm spending all my money and spending all my extra time on this one thing, and it either completely fizzles out within like days or a week, or I start to be learning faster and getting better and seeing results, and then it just skyrockets. It's been a lot of shit I've gotten into that I've left, and there's been a few things that I've stuck with, but the longest one is definitely music for sure.
Yeah. Has your parents asked about Twitch and all that? Because my mum did not understand what the hell I was doing, hey. I'm like, I'm on the internet, Mum. I play games. And then she's like, yep. And people watch me. What? I don't get it. Start again. I was like, oh my God, Mum.
Yeah, my dad, it's so funny. Around the same time that I started to like get subscribers and stuff is when he was out of work for a few months. He had gotten laid off. So you go a few months, you get a severance, and then he was like slacking on getting a job, and he's older, right? So it's tough to get a software job when you're like 60. So he was kind of like having troubles. Finally, he ended up getting a job, so all is well. But it was just so funny because like the pressure was on for my old man and cash and everything, and I'm like, hey, I made $300 last night playing video games. Like, what? You know, and so I ended up basically like breaking all the info and stuff to him, and now he's like, you should quit your job, you should do that. And he always wanted me to be a musician. So I'm like, this is the closest that you're ever going to get. It's so funny. He always jokes. When I was in high school, when I was 18, I decided I wanted to get my real estate license and sell real estate. I closed on my first house a day before I graduated high school. And I was like, I'm going to be a businessman. I want to be like a rich billionaire, douchebag. And I remember my dad was like, I'm so disappointed. Like, I always wanted my son to be a musician, and he wants to be like a successful businessman.
I quit. I'm no longer a real estate agent.
But he loves that I'm doing all this music stuff. I mean, I bought all this gear, and he's like, you want to borrow guitars? He's got a full recording studio. He's like helping me with all the stuff. He's super into it, so I can't complain.
It looks super sick, like your whole setup with all your guitars and that. It's like
I'm lucky my wife.
As soon as you look at your stream, it's just like, this guy's got a problem, but it's like a cool one.
It's so funny. You literally are seeing like 2%
yeah.
of like what I've got. Like literally, I've got like mixer, loop station, piano, keyboard, synthesizer, like record player.
I told my dad about playing computer games because he's like, when I left the army, and it was almost like my parents were always like, I'm so proud of you being in the army, stable job, good money, serving your country, like all these big things. Like, I'm like, oh, like, you know, like, and I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to quit the army. And she's like, what? You're what now? Don't go do anything stupid. You've got long service in 2 years.
You're gonna be a brain surgeon? Well,
and so she's like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, look, honestly, Mom, I'm gonna go fishing for 3 months. I don't really have much planned. She's like, oh, all right. Like, I trust you. Do whatever you have to do. And Dad, like, I was like, Dad, you know, I'm gonna fly you over. I've stolen your boat because I stole my dad's boat when I moved out to the country. And I'm like, I stole your boat. I'm gonna fly you over. We're gonna go fishing for a few weeks. And I had Dad over here and we were fishing, but and this is when I first started streaming. And then, say come January, February, and I'm starting to actually put a lot of effort into streaming. Dad's like, how's the fire brigade going? I'm like, yeah, good. And he goes, but what do you do all day? Like you can't just be at the fire station. I'm like, nah, because it's part time. I only go there when there's a fire, when there's a call. I'm like, I actually play computer games now, Dad. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I go, I'm doing it as like a hobby job. And he's like, I still don't get you. And I sent him a YouTube link on his phone, and he's really the opposite to tech savvy. It's like he goes to touch something on the phone, it opens up the wrong thing, and he's like opened up a YouTube video of me, and he's like, I'm watching you on YouTube. It's like, I got no idea.
He's like, hey, son, hey, like no, I'm not. You can't talk to me like that, Dad.
And then I think my sister showed him some more videos, and he spent like a whole night watching like every single Escape from Tarkov guide I've ever done, and he's like,
oh my god,
yeah, because he's just like so excited. He's like, you're on the internet, like you're like famous. You know what I mean? It was funny. My dad's really cool. And
you wouldn't expect, like, I don't think like someone in that position wouldn't expect to be like, wow, there's like production value, and there's like music, and there's like transitions. It looks like a newscast. Like, what the hell? Yeah. People don't realize how much work and production value goes into to making something like this.
Well, I called my dad up on stream because we were talking about how when we were kids, my dad used to count to 3. That was right. So my dad would be like 1, 2. Like if you stuffed up, like if you got the 3, like who knows? Like that was the thing. Like I don't ever remember getting to 3. So it's like, maybe I should call up my dad. And everyone's like, yeah, do it. Call up your dad. I called up Dad and I said, Dad, I'm streaming at the moment. It's, really cool. I'm like, Dad, you know when...
Do you have on speakerphone?
Yeah, like everyone heard it. And I'm like, you know when I was a kid and you'd count to 3? He's like, yeah, I remember that. And I'm like, what would happen if I got to 3? I'd give you a smack on your bottom. And I was just like, yeah, cool. Cheers, Dad.
all the lulls fill up chat.
Yeah, but I'm like, but I was a good kid. He's like, yeah, you were an awesome kid, but you had a bit of a temper, like all kids have tempers, you know. He's just like that, and I was like, Dad, you're awesome. And it's like, that was it. But
that's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, I think it was really funny telling my parents that I was like, well, kind of like really enjoying this whole streaming thing, and people seem to like to talk to me and that. So I remember like being a kid, really, and when I was like, oh, I could love to play computer games when I grow up. And I actually went to university for game design and development, and I got there.
Really?
Because Mum was like, you got to go to uni. You know, we paid for you to go to a good school. Now you got to go to uni. And like, I skipped all of my final year at school. Like, I'm talking skateboarding every day, going to my mate's place, playing Counter-Strike and Half-Life. Like, we did not go to school. So the thousands of dollars, Mum, sorry, but you wasted them. And I finished school, and she's like, all right, I want you to go to uni. And I'm like, I don't want to go to uni. She goes, just give it a go. I'm like, if I get there and I don't like it, I'm not going. So I signed up for game design and development at uni. And in Australia's gaming industry was like 10 to 20 jobs a year in the whole of Australia. So there was like no jobs. I got like 3 months in, and I was just like, this is shit. I hate uni. They make you like study, and you have to do like tutorials. Nah, I'm going. And I went to like I did a thing called in Australia, it's called TAFE. It's like tech school where you like learn to become mechanics or builders and stuff like that. And I did that for a few years, but the building industry went to shit, so I joined the army instead. But yeah,
nice.
Big
yeah, I wanted to get into business. I did 4 years, got my business degree, business management, and I was selling insurance, selling real estate. I got all the licenses and everything, and just realized like those worlds, man, they're just so cancerous. Like all it takes is for like someone who's remotely critical thinking and skeptical to go to one of those like places where somebody's trying to like convince you to buy their package and you can make $1 million, that kind of thing, like the whole pyramid scheme. I'm like, am I the only person here that sees that this is like a fucking giant scam? Like, what's going on? And then every time you go to like a, you know, the only reason why you're failing is because you aren't trying hard enough and all this stuff. I just hated that whole like mentality of sales got to be a millionaire. Ugh.
Do you have like I think it's like Herbalife and stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah. So like
Avon, Herbalife, anything like Market America, or
So you know Jamie Oliver, surely, the comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch all his episodes. You don't get him in Australia, but
yeah, he's awesome.
And he did one on Herbalife and all those things, and it's like, if you were to sell it.
Oh, the pyramid scheme! It was the best one.
Yeah.
That episode. Oh.
And he was like, if every person in the world sold, recruited 6 people, and you have to go like 7 deep to go like become a millionaire or some shit. If you do 6 people and those 6 people do 6, he goes, you go 9 people down and the whole world's been recruited. So it's like,
yeah, the entire population of the earth.
So it's like, it's impossible for everyone to become millionaires because it's just, there'll be someone at like, there's just not enough rungs. And it's like, yeah, I hate sales. I could never be a salesman. I feel guilty just like even just advertising my merchandise or something like that. Is like, or even my stream. It's just
That's like what when I sold real estate. Like I always pursued it, and it resulted in, I'm sure, like less sales than I would normally have. But it was essentially like, listen, you know what you want. You tell me what you want. I'll help you find the thing that you want and give you the information. And you tell me what you want to do. I was never trying to like close the deal. The whole like always be closing. Like I never want to close the deal. I don't want to like persuade somebody to do something. I want them to be informed and to make the decision. I'll sign the paperwork, but that doesn't make a good salesman. That makes a good person, right? But it's a giant funnel, right? And you need the top of the funnel to be as wide as possible. So you need to be bothering all your friends and your family and tell them to bug their friends and your family to be that guy. and then you need to force stuff down as many people's throats as much as possible to get that one sale.
Yep. Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, no. I hate sales. It's probably the one job I would never do. I hate putting stuff up on eBay or like Gumtree and that. I'm like, oh, I can't charge that much. Just give it to them cheap. Just get rid of it.
Oh yeah. See, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But
I hate it.
But yeah.
I always tell my fiance she can do it. Like, I'm trying to get rid of a couch at the moment, and I'm just like, just take it. I'll pay you. Just like, get it.
I literally get to the point where like, yeah, I'll pay people to come. I moved a whole bunch of stuff out, furniture, desks and chairs and couches, and it's like, I just want to say, I'll give you $25 to take this $300 couch out of here because I don't want to lug it anywhere. I don't want to rent a truck to haul it out. I don't want to throw it in the dumpster outside. Like, I'll pay somebody to take it away. But yeah, lazy.
Not lazy, just time efficient.
It's come to the point now, especially with software. As soon as I started doing content for software, I started to realize like, wow, that's how much I charge per hour. That's how much I'm worth per hour. Oh shit. Now like every wasted minute is like, oh, that's a lot of money. And especially now with Twitch, it's like the same thing where it's like, damn, my time is worth far more than my money these days.
Yep. I totally get that. I'm about to move back to Adelaide, and whilst I've been out here, my fiance's been in Adelaide for the last like 2 months, and so I see her on the weekend. So pretty much from when I stop my stream on a Friday to when I start my stream on a Sunday, I'm driving back and forth between Adelaide, and when I'm in Adelaide, I don't touch computer stuff at all. So when I get back here, I'm like, all right, I have like 90 hours. I've got to sleep for like 10 of them. So I've got to try and get as much done in that time as possible. And that's pretty much my week, man. And then come the weekend, come Saturday when I'm spending time with my fiance, I'm like dead tired. And so my Saturdays have been mostly just sleeping on the couch while she watches Game of Thrones. But I actually am trying to put more time into me time and the value of what I actually do spend on editing or streaming or, you know.
Yep.
As good as it is to be streaming and playing games all the time, you got to have a life too.
Yeah, if I can get to the point where I can stream full time, then that opens up 50 hours a week.
You'll feel it.
You know, right now
I swear to God,
I'm working 40 to 50 hours a week, and I'm streaming 40 to 50 hours a week, and also editing, and I'm also married. Oh man, I'm it hasn't. I know it's going to catch up to me at some point, and it hasn't caught up to me yet. But I've been flat out for a while.
I worked out I was doing 80-hour weeks a while ago, and it never felt like 80-hour weeks, and probably until I thought I worked it out. But when you're streaming 55 hours a week, you're editing for about 20 of it, and then just doing random shit for the other 5. It's just so. What's the word? It's like you just don't know where the time goes. Like weekends, like, bam, at the weekend, it's Friday today. I just remember, like, the other day I was just doing random shit, and it was like, okay, it's Sunday, time to start my Sunday stream. Bam, Friday. It's like, what? You know, like, don't know where it all goes. But
my problem these days is I'm sitting at work, and it's like programming. Wonder if anybody would want to do this video. Okay, let me write down. I have an idea for this. Oh, I would love to cover this Phil Collins song. I could do these lyrics. Start writing down lyrics, and it's like I can't all day, every day. All I'm thinking about is videos, stream, music. Ugh.
So changing the topic quickly, what was a game that you like loved playing, like when you were like younger? Because like I've been actually playing a few single player games. I actually went back to playing Half-Life the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never played Half-Life. I played Portal, but never Half-Life.
Oh, I'm talking the original Half-Life.
Yeah.
So I played on stream the other day because I was like very competitive in that. I had so much fun. And then the other day, someone was like, oh, you should play Stalker. So I played Stalker on stream. And it's just like, I'm actually really enjoying all those old school retro kind of fun games. Have you thought about going into doing some stuff like that at times? Like obviously your Tarkov stuff's going crazy, so you're enjoying that, but
yeah, no. At some point, I'm definitely gonna do a little bit of music here and there, but there are a few games I do want to stream that are old school that a lot of people probably haven't even heard of, but I think would be fun kind of break. I think my favorite games of all time, my absolute favorite game of all time is Ocarina of Time. And a lot of what I watch on Twitch, like Danny B and a few other guys that speed run Ocarina of Time. They could beat the whole game 100% in like friggin' like an hour and a half or something. It's like insane. I love that stuff. And they just destroy the game by memory manipulation and all kinds of other shit. It's super, super interesting. But one of the games I really want to stream, because they just came out with a remastered version fairly recently on Steam, was Day of the Tentacle. Did you ever play Day of the Tentacle?
No.
The most unique game I ever played. In a nutshell, it's one of those old school, like, kind of 2D games where you point click, and there's, like, on the bottom left, you have, like, an open, close, give, grab, talk, like, so you interact with just point and click games. So the whole premise of the game is this mad scientist creates this, like, time machine. Something gets fucked up, and they realize they have to go back in time to prevent this tentacle from taking over the world. This little character, evil little tentacle guy. And what happens is the three characters all get into this time machine, which is made from a one of those like outdoor porta potty toilet things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
At like concerts and stuff. They shove the three of them in there, and it gets all fucked up basically because he's a stupid mad scientist. So the three people get sent to three different points in history. One guy stays exactly put today. One of the guys goes 300 years back in time, and the girl goes 300 years forward in time. And it's the same house. It's the people that made Maniac Mansion. I don't know if you ever played that. But it's essentially the same house, and the way that you play the game, it's a puzzle game by going around and exploring, collecting items, and passing the items back and forth through time. So that, like, one of the things you have to do is to get electricity in the past, you need to have like a hamster running in a wheel because you need to charge a battery because Benjamin Franklin is there 300 years ago or some shit like that. So you need to collect the hamster from the present day and like send him back down into the past, and then he needs to put him in like an ice box that gets frozen so that like in the future she can collect the frozen guy. So you're just like passing all this stuff back and forth to change the future and the past to solve puzzles. It's fucking genius, dude.
Kind of sounds
It's like $7 on Steam.
Oh wow. Yeah. I have never played the Assassin's Creed, but that kind of like makes me think of the Assassin's Creed. It's like the whole time travel thing. I know it's not the exact same.
Oh
but
yeah.
You've got the whole puzzle side of it as well. But I think even Assassin's Creed has a lot of puzzles in it. So
yeah, not so much now. Oh, I played maybe one or two of the Assassin's Creed. I haven't played in a long time, not since like Xbox.
Yep.
I remember it had a lot of puzzles, but they weren't like time puzzles, were there? There was just like, yeah, so like Ocarina of Time had some time kind of puzzles where it's like, shit, in order to do this, I need to go back to like Child Link. But yeah, this game, the main mechanic is sending items back and forth. It's super neat.
I think it's cool. I don't remember a lot of the console games I played when I was younger, but there was this one on Super Nintendo, and it's on Steam now. It's like $20 though, and I can't justify paying $20 for this Super Nintendo game. But it's called Secrets of Mana or Mania, and it was kind of.
I think I know.
It's like you go left and right. It's like you go around and kill stuff, and you have skills and you level it up, and you have people follow you, and you can switch between the people. I just remember having a really cool story, and it was on Super Nintendo. I think like I'd love to play that. Just one playthrough of that. That'd probably be a game that if I had nothing to do one day, but hey, let's load up that. It's like
yeah.
Some of the stories from old school games were just like awesome, and it's just
so good, so good.
Did you ever play Diablo?
I started playing Diablo 2 actually, and that consumed my life for many years. And then I went back and played a little bit of Diablo 1, but the fact that you couldn't run, that you just walked everywhere, coming from Diablo, where I just teleport everywhere, I couldn't play Diablo 1. I played Diablo 3, hated it, but D2 was like my life for years in high school.
So I watched like a 1 or 2 hour YouTube video on Diablo. It was the guy that made Diablo, and he was like, I had this really cool story for a game, but I didn't know what it was called or what to call it. And he goes, and the mountain behind me that when I was actually riding every day was Mount Diablo, so I just called it Diablo, and it's just like,
that's the whole premise of the game, though. It's about the devil. What did he?
Yeah. But it's the story he had behind that. He said it was like written over heaps of pages, and it was like pretty much like a book. And he wanted to make this game, and then I saw some concept arts of the original game, what it was going to look like. Holy shit! I'm so glad they didn't go there. Blizzard got on it, and they blew it up and made it amazing.
Yeah.
Did you hear the announcement for Diablo 4? I think it was.
No.
So BlizzCon, I think, announced Diablo 4 coming, and I think it's going to go back to like a Diablo 2 feel. Because I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile recently off stream, and Diablo 2 and Path of Exile are a lot similar than Diablo 3. And Path of Exile just made it modernized because it's obviously many years later. And it's made by actually a New Zealand company. It's a really awesome game if you haven't checked it out. It's very time consuming and steep learning curve. But if they make a Diablo 4, I would honestly play that to death. I don't care what game I'd be playing at the moment. At the time, I'd be like,
yeah.
All right.
I would definitely try it out. What I loved about Diablo 2 that never kept me in Diablo 3 was mostly it's so weird. Like when I first did you ever play Diablo 2?
Oh, shitloads.
Did you ever have anybody like glitch rush you, G rush you or whatever to like power level your characters?
Yep.
Did you ever do that?
Yep.
So I remember when I first started with Diablo 2, I got convinced by a bunch of guys that I worked with. They're like, oh, we'll rush you. And I never played any Diablo games. So I'm like a paladin walking around and they're like, walk into the portal, stand there. I'm going to kill the guy. Walk through the portal. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm not even playing a fucking game. I'm level 1 and I'm in like the last quest on hell. And I'm like, I didn't understand. It was the most bizarre. I literally never once played through the quest line of that entire game. Never once ever did it. It got to the point where I would just go and build a Hammerdin and power level up to 85 or 90, and I would just glitch rush people all day, every day, and I would just charge them on d2jsb.com. They have those gold coins, the forum, and I would just, that's all I would do, was just fucking make gold and glitch rush people, and I could just listen to music and chill, and it was like an hour of just hanging with people. It was super fun. I never played the fucking game, really.
You just did it to make money.
Yep.
Diablo 2, it was out. Lord of Destruction was out when I was in high school, and I used to have a what do you call it? It was a bot, and all I did was I literally told it to kill Pindlestick. It was Act 5. There was a portal in the town in Act 5, and I'd go, you just kill it. It had the high item value to get loot from, and I could literally tell.
Yeah, what Pindle skin or whatever, and he drop a key or something.
No, it was for a quest, but you could literally kill him, and his monster value was high enough to have pretty much any item in the game. So I would go to school, start this bot. I'd come home, and I've had a full inventory of like the best items in the game, and like I'd never do anything like that now. But I just remember it was so funny because like as a kid, you're like, I just want to have the best items, and I remember like going to one of those websites and buying like a few items just because it was like the Uber bosses was so hard and the items to get them was so impossible to find. So it was just so good to actually like have some of those items. But
every 2 years or so since high school, I go to like d2loot.com and drop like $40, and it's like, bang, I have a godly kit and I have someone G-rush me on the same fucking website that still exists 15 years later, and I make my Hammerdin, and actually I just renamed one of my characters, my alt accounts that I have. I just renamed it to Ja-ith-Bur. Remember that? The Enigma rune word for the armor that you can make anybody teleport. I made it Jive Burr. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's ever gonna know what this is in reference to.
I met a guy. Where did I meet him? I don't know. He was playing Diablo, but he was living off it. So what he was doing, had multiple accounts botting and was selling the items on the websites. And
yeah, that's what I was doing. I'd sell them on eBay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything like that now, obviously, but
no, I wouldn't. No. And also, I mean, because I actually had a thumb drive I found recently because I wanted the Diablo 2, and I dragged everything over. This was before I had a 2 PC set up, and I remember when there was a bunch of people talking about like all the cheaters getting banned. I was like, huh. And I remember opening up the folder, and I still had the map hack
for Diablo
from Diablo 2, and I'm like, Battlestate is gonna ban me for having. I'm like, I literally banned from fucking Tarkov for having this D2 map hack from 1994 on my computer. So I literally deleted it.
Yeah. Nah. You know, like eBay back in the day, you used to be able to sell digital stuff on eBay, like anything random. And I know heaps of people used to sell game items on eBay, World of Warcraft money, EVE Online money. Just like if people wanted it, you could sell it. And I have a few mates that actually made pretty much a living off selling in-game items for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about something that was right on where we were talking about. God damn it, I lost it. But yeah, crazy stuff when back in those days playing those games. I don't.
It's a Wild West.
Yeah, it's a different world now though. No one would have like thought gaming would just become such a big thing. My mate went to Korea to represent Australia in Age of Empires back in like the early 2000s. It would have been Age of Empires 2. And he was over there and he was playing Age of Empires obviously, but while he was at the hotel, he was going through like the TV, and the TV was like StarCraft channel. That people would just
on television, huh?
Yeah, and there would be multiple channels to watch StarCraft, and they'd have like their best players highlights on StarCraft on TV, and that was such a foreign thing to me to hear. I was like, wow, imagine if they had that in Australia. I could like watch all these cool games like just from anywhere.
That'd be awesome.
And now we've got Twitch. It's it. We've got it. It's just awesome.
Yep. I think it's gonna come full circle, and I've been saying this for like a couple of years now, and it's just starting to happen where the Super Bowl isn't gonna be on NBC anymore. It's gonna be on friggin' Twitch. Because imagine from an advertiser's standpoint, or like a brand standpoint, or from like the NFL or whatever, to be able to monetize directly like a football game where, other than just selling tickets, now you have 1 million people that aren't paying. Because like how do they make their money from the Super Bowl? They have tickets and they have brand advertising and stuff, but like you have the people, 1 million people that are all watching advertisements, and the advertisers are paying some CPM, right? But like that's why Twitch is so valuable, because I'm saying I want to support you. Here's my money. There's no middleman, and there's no like guesswork around like advertising. Is like 10 people saw it, maybe one will buy. You know what I mean? It's so much more valuable than that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the next thing for all media.
All going online. Might not be the Twitch platform, but definitely something similar.
Yeah.
Well,
imagine being able to
Netflix has proved it.
Like watch. Yep.
You know
being able to like watch like Survivor finale and post comments in chat or whatever, like send money to to have a message pop up on screen or something. That's going to be a thing.
Yep, definitely. Oh my god, my brain's done it again. Let's talk about oh my god, sorry man. It was literally
no, it's my bad. I interrupted you. My bad.
Just what we're talking about. So, that was it. I think with Netflix, right? So Netflix is big in America, I'm sure. Yeah.
Everybody's got Netflix.
So is it as big as cable TV?
I think pretty much anybody under the age of like 30 these days pretty much has a Netflix account. If not, their parents have one and they're using and then like some percentage of older folks have it. But yeah, it's
common.
Yeah, super common.
I think the best branding Netflix ever did, and it was probably unintentional as all hell, or would have been. There's no way they would have gone out and gone, let's just make this a common thing. But Netflix and chill. Like, honestly, that everyone knows what Netflix and chill is and means. But,
oh my God.
Like, in Australia, there's like Stan, there's like all these other ones. And then when you bring out Netflix and chill, and everyone's like, oh, come around for Netflix and chill. It's just like... And now everyone knows what Netflix is. I think it was Tinder. I feel like it came from Tinder. So people would be like, hey,
really?
come around for some Netflix and chill. You know what I mean? And then it's just like...
God.
But yeah, I think...
I missed that whole Tinder thing. Thank Christ.
Yeah, so I just think it's really interesting how a trend can set off a whole new industry and make it massive. Because, like, people had Tinder, but then people had Netflix, but after that, Netflix just was a common name everywhere. And I think people like Ninja streaming on Twitch, and these the bigger names of people that are bringing in like external influencers, it's so much more of a common knowledge thing now for people to say, hey, people can play computer games and people will watch them. Like, I can't watch every streamer, but when I do see a streamer I enjoy watching, I can watch them all day. And I think that's the beauty of, I was going to say Tarkov, for streaming, is you actually can find people that are suited to you. You watch a TV show, you might watch a TV show and be like, this is good or it's bad, but it's not really tailored.
You're sitting there channel surfing. I never surf Twitch. I'll click on one, click on two, and within 10 minutes, I'm like, I can spend all day.
If someone's entertaining.
And to be able to pay the money, to support that person too, and to have like a connection, compared to spending $200 a month to have literally zero connection to any other human being, and to be supporting massive corporations or whatever. And, you know, I couldn't watch 50 hours a week or something of television. There'd be so much wasted time. Whereas Twitch, you bet your ass I could watch pretty much all day.
Yep. And now with all the new categories too. I'm so glad they changed the IRL category. It drove me bonkers. I absolutely hate it because I did fishing streams, right? And I used to get somewhere between 10 to 30 viewers on a fishing stream. And this is when I was holding like 5 to 10 on Tarkov. And I'd go do a fishing stream and I'd be like, all right, I think one day I got like 60 viewers. I was like, that's amazing. Anyway, so I'd get home and then I'd go to like the IRL section and go, where would 60 viewers have me? And I'd scroll down and there'd be like all this ASMR people and chicks just sitting there just talking. And it's like, where's the outdoor people? Like, I think IRL should be outside. Like, it's in the real world, you know? And I'm so glad they've got an outdoor category because I am very keen to do fishing streams and outdoor streams in the future. And I know there'd be people out there that want to watch it. But
yeah, for sure. I
don't want them getting distracted by watching 400 ASMR streams in the process of getting to me. You know, like, it's so cool the platform we have where we can talk to people every day. But at the same time, it's getting to those people. I think that's the hardest thing is when you start out on Twitch, people go, how do you get big on Twitch, or how do you start out on Twitch? And it's just like, it's easy to say, oh, you just got to stick to it, have some fun, play for like 40 hours a week. Yeah, you might get lucky, very lucky.
I hate that. I hate that advice so much. I feel like I've always felt like I was in the minority, and I'm like hesitant to say this because I'm still a new guy, so I really don't know what I'm talking about. But I have enough experience with other things to get an impression that whenever I see new streamers talking to larger streamers and they say, what advice would you give to smaller streamers? The answer 99% of the time is stay consistent, be consistent. And to me, I feel like consistency is important, but it's like the fourth most important thing because, and if you scroll down right now on Tarkov, I guarantee you there's maybe 100 people at like 9 a.m. on a weekday here, Eastern Standard. There's like 70 people that are 1 to 3 viewers on Tarkov. if you're consistent every day, what are the chances that someone's going to click on your rectangle? Like, that's it. That's the only way that anybody can ever get to your stream, unless you convince your family and friends to come, which none of my family and friends wants to watch me play a game they've never heard of on a platform they're not signed up on. So to me, it was getting over that initial hump of discoverability. And it was as simple as putting, and people hate this too. I was actually responded to one of Deadly Slob's tweets. I'd love to chat with him about it, because one of his recent podcasts was mentioning people putting TV in their names. I have mixed thoughts about it, but honestly, I spent weeks playing Tarkov, live streaming it with 2 viewers, and one of those is probably one of those like electric skateboard bots. It wasn't until I put TV in my name, the next raid, I killed somebody, they came in, said GG, and they're a subscriber, and they've been a subscriber from the beginning. Like, that's how I went from 2 average to 10 average, was just by putting TV in my name. I've gotten to the point where I can remove that, but discoverability.
Yeah, exactly. I got no problem with putting TV in your name. I did it for ages. Like,
unless you're stream sniping people, or you're sitting in the lobby while you're not playing as like a billboard, like that's just desperate. But that's like the least obnoxious way to advertise. You're not going to forums and saying I'm a streamer. You're not going to other channels and saying I'm a streamer. You're just saying, hey, you killed me or I killed you. I'm a streamer. That's all you're saying with that name. Feel free to come by, watch the VOD, say GG.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would say that when I first started streaming, most of my viewers were Australian, because I was like the only Australian Tarkov streamer that was around that time. Unfortunately, Australia internet's really fucking shit. Like, we're talking atrocious shit for the majority of Australia. It is getting better, thank the Lord. But no one like streamed Tarkov on Twitch that was Australian. So I had Australia in front of my name, like Oz. So they thought it was either Austria or Australia. And then I'd have random people pop in and be like, oh, you're Australian. How the hell are you streaming? Like, we can't stream in Australia. Like,
yeah.
And so the beginning viewer base for me was Australian, and that got me to 10 viewers really quickly, because it was just like, you're weird, you're different, you know? And that's probably the biggest thing, originality. Well, you know how you said, like, you know, fourth would be consistency, but being original, being a bit different, definitely helps a lot. But having TV in my name brought heaps of people from Australia. They were like, is this guy...
I got my first 1,000 followers were from TV. Were from them getting killed or killing me and putting my name in. I guarantee the first 1,000 followers I got.
I used to search people all the time, actually, when I was playing Tarkov at the start. Like, oh, did I kill another streamer? Who is he?
That's how I found back in the day, Cuddy, DJ Quest, like a bunch of those guys. I would have never known that they were streamers. It became a thing where it was like, as soon as I get out of the raid, twitch.tv/ I would have a thing open, twitch.tv/ ready to like type it in, because I loved that interaction. It was never toxic ever. At least for me.
I learned from my mistakes though. And I'm still embarrassed to even talk about this one, but I killed Smoke one day, and I had no idea, because Smoke doesn't have his name as Smoke, and I didn't really even know who Smoke was at this stage. This is like when I had like 10 to 20 viewers, and I killed Smoke. My numbers jumped to like 50 instantly, and I'm like, who's this Smoke guy? And I saw, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's sitting on like 800 viewers. This is crazy. And I was like super excited, and a couple of hours later I finished my stream, so I hosted Smoke, with my 20 viewers. I was like, oh my god! I get the chat. I'm like, did anyone get a clip of the chat of me killing Smoke? And it came across as really arrogant, like really arrogant. I was like, and looking back at it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm a douchebag. But it's like, and everyone's like, nope, you never killed Smoke. And they're like, nope, Smoke doesn't die. Like proper like, and I agree with him. Fanboys protecting him, which they should.
Yeah.
And I was just like, everyone's like, and then Smoke called me out. And I was like, oh my god. Smoke goes, hey man, thanks for the host. And he's like really nice. Like, he's the nicest streamer out there. He goes, but
he's so fucking nice. And
I know.
Yeah.
And he comes and he goes, but Pestily, dude, thanks for the host and all, but it comes across as really arrogant. And you being a streamer, you should know this. It comes across as really arrogant as coming into someone's chat and then talking about killing him. I'm like, no. Like, I was like,
It's that's the thing, is it's so hard, dude, to know like what's normal in the Twitch world is not what's normal in the real world. I know that I probably did some faux pas and fucked up a few times back in the day, and I'm like cringing for some of this to come up, where the first day I talked to some streamer that I've liked for the longest time, they're like, yeah, I didn't like you for the first 6 months because you did this douchey thing. I'm like, I had no idea. I'm sorry. I'm like so scared that I've done something like that I don't even realize, because it's hard to know the norms, man, when you're new.
Yeah. Nah, dude, I was like, oh, shit. Alt F4, get off the computer. It didn't really happen.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's the worst.
Fastest way to make people hate you is to go into a big streamer's chat, get called out as a douchebag. But yeah. And then Smoke hosted with me on my the day I hit partner, so he's an awesome guy, and it's a lesson I needed to learn. You know, you can't just be arrogant, and you got to be humble. But there's no rule book for streaming. Like, you could stream and do whatever you want, as long as it's within the left and right of like what you can and can't do by the rules of Twitch. You could literally just be an absolute douchebag. You could swear as much as you want, as long as you're not offending people.
But there's a giant rule book. It's just an unstated rule book that everybody who's been in the game long enough knows. I've been taking pretty diligent notes over the last 9 months about things I've learned, and I have it prepared for if and when I get partner. I want to do a video on like how I got partner, not as like a guide, because I have a kind of a really unique sort of thing that isn't going to apply to everybody, but like my experience with sales and marketing and music and all that stuff. I want to do a video basically being like, here's my understanding of how like I was able to use like the Twitch funnel in the community and networking and not fucking up, and here's some faux pas to avoid. I have a video ready for that, but I want to wait until I'm partner to put that out.
Yeah, it'd be a good video, because if anyone ever asked me advice on how to have a successful stream, I pretty much handball them straight away to Deadly Slob's podcast, Slobcast, right? Particularly the first one to four, 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. Like, I'm not saying that the later ones aren't good; they're definitely good. But like 1 to 5 is like, I was listening to that after I was partner, and it was my bedtime like listings, and I was like, holy shit, I never thought about that, but I already did it. Like, there was so many things I already was doing that Deadly Slob learnt over years of streaming, and through the hard way. Like, he had a similar experience to me with Smoke, for example. Like, he had another one, I can't remember what he did, but it was just like those experiences where you just don't learn, or you learn on the time. And like going to a stream and asking for a host, like that's never going to come across well. Like, I've never done that, but some people do it, and I get it. Like, I have random people come to my stream sometime and post a link to their stream. I'm like, I literally just...
Oh God, I've never had that, I don't think.
It's only happened probably a dozen times over the last year, but it's still random. Like, even if you got one viewer across, it's just like...
It's one, it's...
I don't know.
Yeah, it feels bad. When I did end up with a lot of, back when I was much smaller, less so now, a lot of... Hey, just saying hi before I start my stream. Have a great one, guys. And then, person X has gone live. It's like, come on, like, just you can say hey and say what. And I'm the type that, like, especially when I'm at work, I can pull up a tab. I'll be working. I'll say something, and then I'll get pulled away. So like, I never wanna. I'm always cognizant of, like, I'm sure there are probably some people who are like, this guy's just coming in here saying hi to everybody, and then he gets out. Not trying to promote, it's just I'm a fucking busy guy and I like to say hi to everybody, but you got to be careful, man, how things come across. I actually had a similar thing to what you were talking about and to what Deadly was talking about, and mine was actually with Deadly, but it wasn't with Deadly, it was in his stream, and I got called out elsewhere for it, but I think it was just kind of a misunderstanding. He had hosted me for a couple of thousand viewers. And it was because a few of my viewers at the time, this is when I was averaging like 30 people, were like, he was looking around, and I've been a sub for 3 months of his and always been a huge fan. He was scrolling through, and people were like, who's Veriitas?
I've lost you.
And I had a particularly good day that day, and I do this part-time, and I've always been big with donations. I've not as big as a lot of other people out there, but I just like every now and then throwing cash at these people because I like supporting content creators, and especially the ones that do it full-time and it's their job.
Yep.
And so after he'd hosted me, it was the day after or something like that. I was just like, I donated $100, and in the message, I was very careful actually. In the message, I basically said thanks for everything you do. Like, you're a 10 out of 10 content creator. Didn't say anything that I was a streamer. Didn't say Veritas Games TV. I think I just had Veritas, which wasn't even like my full name. It might have been Veritas Games. I'm not sure. But it wasn't anything about that. I didn't say thanks for the host. I didn't say anything. And then he was basically like, dude, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. So then I did like a at Deadly Slob mention in the chat. Like, yo, dude, I know I'm not paying you because you hosted me. I'm paying you because I'm in a great mood. Obviously, thank you for hosting me, but this is just to like support you. It wasn't about the host. And some folks had seen that basically and thought that I was basically saying,
do it again.
Here's $100 for a host. And yeah, so you definitely gotta be careful. Like I said, I think it ended up being communication, but it's like, even well-meaning, you can break some norms that you don't want to break. So now I'm definitely like tiptoeing around, making sure I don't make an ass of myself.
A really interesting one's Deadly Slob did a full video on stream etiquette, right? And so, like, as a partner, you can have the partner tick next to your name. So like, now I don't comment in a chat unless I'm willing to spend half an hour in there, because I feel like it's advertisement now to go into a chat, say hello, and leave. So like, unless I'm like literally having to go, like, I'll go, so I'll pop into your chat, I'll sit there for 20 minutes, half an hour, I'll stay there for a while, and I'll chat. But if I'm going to message, I'm going to message for a while. I feel really dirty if I go, hey Veritas, what's going on, man? All right, cool, have a great stream. And then like go, hey Sigma, what's going on? Oh, cool, have a great stream. Like, I feel like,
yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because like every single person who's a partner, whether it's you, whether it's Warrun, whether it's Smoke or whatever, like, I would fucking love that if you just came in and said hey and then left. It's like, oh shit, like, but I know that I have a different set of standards and I have a different kind of personality and attitude than a lot of people do, and I think their attitudes are reasonable. I'm just more of an easygoing, like, I don't care. But I definitely, yeah, I'm starting to get that now that the channel's kind of blowing up with YouTube and everything. That now, the other day I went into Deadly's stream. Literally, he streams while I'm at work. I have 3 monitors. I got Deadly up on one, or whoever, Ghost Freak up on one, whoever I'm watching. Half paying attention, just in one ear, just chilling and lurking. Every now and then I'll throw something out there, but I took a screenshot the other day, and it was like the entire thing, a full screen window in Deadly's chat was like guitars and like at Veritas, hey, and I love Mosin, man. I'm like, I ended up basically being like, used a Smoke TV quiet. I'm like, everybody leave. I'm like, I'm sorry. I felt actually bad. I'm like, fuck, like, I don't want.
He probably played Mosin Man on his stream, I'm guessing.
Probably did, yeah. I don't know, but I'm like, now it's like, now I can't be a fucking fan of anybody anymore without having that feeling. It's such a double-edged sword.
I don't think it's that issue, man. It's about how you come across. It's all about that. Like,
yeah,
I don't care who puts an emote in my chat for what streamer. Like, I'm like big on just promote the whole Tarkov community. Game succeeds, there's more people watching it. More people watching it, we've got more in our chat to talk to. So
yep.
If you have like all these rules, like don't promote other streamers in my chat, like, I don't care. Like, it's all about having fun to me, and enjoying the stream. You don't want to be too strict, but I totally get where you're going. Like, you don't want to be like using other people. I think that's probably what it is, using other people, because it's not.
You don't want to be using other people, and you don't want to come across, even if you aren't. Like, I know that, like, I know that I would feel dirty doing that, and those viewers that I would be stealing aren't worth even having anyway. If you have 1,000 viewers and I would have posted my link in chat, I would get maybe 1, and then I'd have 999 others be like, that guy's a fucking douchebag. Like, that's not a net gain for any streamer, so it's just silly to do. But I don't even want it to ever come across to the streamer or any of the viewers or any other streamers watching that streamer. It's just, yeah, I'm definitely find myself stressed a lot more now that I have some semblance of like notability, that now that my name, you know, people know it. I'm stressed. Because I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to fuck up. I realize.
I'm really blessed because I've got a fiance who supports me, right? But if this was the only income in our household, I'd probably be paranoid about talking. I'd be like, streaming, yep, computer, because like. You just got to be yourself, which is the biggest thing about Twitch. But sometimes, like, you might have an opinion, or you might say something like, a good example is I was over in Indonesia studying Indonesian with the army, right? I was a translator for the Australian Army when I was in the infantry as well. And I said something that was racist, right, in Indonesia. And it was a common terminology in Australia. So common that, like, I've heard my mum say it, but I didn't even realize it was racist, you know. And when I said it, and this guy like called me out on it, I was like, "That's not racist." And he's like, "You bloody well sure." Like he was like fuming. I was like,
ready to like throw down.
I was like, "Oh my god!" And then when I found that out, I was like, "That's nuts." Like I'm like. I've been saying this for like years. Like imagine like if you just let something like that slip on Twitch and it blows up, you know, that could be really, really detrimental. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, huge. I have nightmares about, oh God, who was it? It was that YouTuber. Oh, it was PewDiePie, the whole PewDiePie thing.
Yeah.
I think about that event so much. Like I stress about it, that I feel like my subconscious is going to make something like that happen, even though like I don't really have racist words in my terminology. I don't use them. But I'm like so stressed out that I worry about it too much, that it's in my head too much, that I'm going to accidentally say something. Oh God, it's so unrealistic, but
I know.
And unreasonable.
Yeah. When you put so much like effectively blood, sweat and tears into something, yeah. In the back of your mind, you're always just like, I just don't want to stuff up, you know? Like, it's kind of one of those things where it can be quite scary, if anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I've taken up plenty of your time. I'm sure you've got a lot to do today. Thank you very much for today, man. I know it was a little bit hard to schedule, but we got there in the end. And... yeah, I'm really interested in doing this kind of stuff. I think it wouldn't hurt to do it the same person every now and then. Might be like, you know, every month or two. But if you're down, man, I'd be more than happy to chat again. Just no real top.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, these days I don't get to talk to too many streamers, you know. So this is awesome just to have somebody to chill and hang with for sure.
So thanks very much for your time, guys. Veriitas is a Escape from Tarkov streamer. Which obviously we've spoken of here. If you're not already following him, guys, go down to the links below. His Twitch, his YouTube, his Twitter. Awesome dude, putting out great content and definitely worth checking out. And I'm going to try and do these once a week. So I've got someone different for you guys to just hear us talk to shit with. And hopefully we can learn a bit more about a streamer. Because just quickly to finish up, like, even though I've gone from being a person that had like 10 to 20 viewers now to multiple hundred, I don't feel like people actually get to know me as well anymore. And it's like, I'm sure you would know what Veriitas is. When you have a viewer that's been there from the start, at the start you would talk about everything, your full life about them and all that. Now it's kind of like, I thought people get snippets. And it's kind of, I kind of like the idea of people getting to know me a bit better and other streamers as well. So give them the opportunity, you know, like talking about our dads and stuff like that. So guys, if you do like this kind of stuff, make sure to let me know, and I'm going to make sure I'll try and get some other streamers in, and we'll have some fun with it. So thank you very much for your time, Veriitas.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing this and all the rest of them, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
cheers, dude.